Hello and welcome to the channel. If you have been a regular to my channel, you must be knowing by now that I am a huge fan and believer in small little nifty tools which are useful in our day-to-day work when we deal with LLMs, these data sets, their outputs and everything surrounding them. That is why in this video I'm going to show you yet another open source free little tool called as Streaming JSON. Before I tell you about this tool, there is one concept I wanted to throw a little bit of light upon. That concept is of Lexer. Lexer or Lexer is a component in computer programming that breaks a stream of text into individual tokens. It is also known as tokenizer or scanner. Tokens are a meaningful element in the text, such as keywords, identifiers, literals, operators, and symbols. The lexer is typically the first phase in a compiler or interpreter, and its output is used by the parser to analyze the syntax of the program. We use lexers quite a lot in text processing, tokenization, token classification, and example of lexer tokens are keywords, identifiers, literals, operators, symbols, and so on and so forth. Whenever you are dealing with natural language processing, NLP, and all of these data sets, LLMs, it is always a good idea to also learn about this terminology, underlying concept to better understand what is going on. Coming back to this tool, which is called as Streaming JSON, this is simply a library for completing fragmented JSON streams. The creator has successfully used it in their own project where it has performed exceptionally well. So we'll be also installing it locally in our notebook and then we will play around with it on few of the examples. Streaming JSON can take any JSON fragments outputted by a LLM and complete them into a valid JSON text ready for downstreaming decoding. This makes it real convenient for displaying JSON generated in stream mode by LLMs or as function call JSON content, and we will shortly see it. This library is also available in Golang and JavaScript, but we will be doing it in Python. Now, this already achieves 97% of test coverage in various use cases. So let's see how we can use this repository to see how can we complete the fragmented JSON. In this video, I'm going to be using this VM. You don't need any GPU for this or any LLM, but just to acknowledge the sponsor of this video, I will be using this VM and GPU card, which is NVIDIA RTX 6000 courtesy mass compute. If you're looking to rent a GPU on affordable prices, I will drop the link to their website in video's description. Plus, I'm also going to give you a coupon code of 50% discount on range of GPU, so do check them out. Okay, coming back to my streaming JSON, this is the Ubuntu terminal which I'm going to use. Let me clear the screen and then I'm just going to create a Conda environment to keep everything nice and simple and separate from my local system. I'm just calling it Lexer. Let's wait for it. In order to install the streaming JSON, all you need to do is to do pip install streaming JSON, and I will also drop the link to it in video's description. Let me launch my Jupyter notebook after installing it. So I'm just installing this Jupyter notebook and then I am opening it in my browser to play around with it as how can we use this in our own projects. So let's wait for it to get launched. Shouldn't take too long now. And you can see that it is now launching in my browser. So let's wait for it to get launched. File in new and notebook here. And there we have our notebook. Okay, first step in using this library is to initialize our Lexer, and we need to assign a new Lexer for each JSON stream, and that is what we are doing here. So let me initialize it. So you can see that the Lexer is initialized. In the next step, let's use it to complete this JSON fragment. So you see, this is not a complete JSON. This starts with this braces, then we have this key and there is no value. and we will complete this JSON with the help of the above Lexer. So let me run it. There you go. So you see this was our incomplete fragment of JSON, and it has produced a complete JSON. Now, what could be the use of it? Look, one thing, if you have worked in a production environment in a real world application these days, you might notice that all of these API calls, whether they are cloud based, whether they are related to LLMs, whether you are doing function calling to large language models, and it could be any model, the output or even the input is normally in JSON format, because JSON format makes it so easy in key value pair and with nested pairs that it is very easy to handle the input and output programmatically. And by the way, if you don't know what JSON is, JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation, and it is a very lightweight text-based data interchange format that allows for easy exchange of data between web servers, web applications, and mobile apps. It is a standardized format for representing data in a structured and human readable way using key value pairs and arrays. So you see we have this key here A, and the value is null, and there it could be lot flexible, lot simple, and we can even nest it. And you can search more about JSON on the net. There are various good tutorials available. So as I was saying, that when we are dealing with these AI powered applications or even API powered applications, this tool could be a real blessing due to this, where we want to complete our function calls maybe with the help of this. So for example, if you use this, where I am again using this Lexer to complete another JSON fragment which has now array or list. So if I use this and print it, there you go. You see, not only it has completed the list here, but it has also put in the braces here. So if you could imagine, there could be a lot of great examples here. And now let's try out in few more examples, such as this one. So you see, I have given it a bit more JSON here. It says incomplete input just because I didn't put the bracket here. At least we should be at least given it proper bracket anyway. So you see how good is that. So it is amazingly constructed the JSON here. Okay, now let's try out another one, and I haven't really used it with more complex ones, so let's try out with really bit complicated one. So I'm just going to use this one here, as you can see. So not this one. Let me paste it properly. There you go. Let me run it. There you go. So I think this one is failed here. Yep, you see. So we need to make sure that we also validate its responses. So we were also able to break this library. That is good. But anyway, for the simple function calling, I have seen it really working well. So I used it in one of the GPT-4 API call, and it was able to, for the weather API, by the way, it was able to do it very nicely. But I think for the more complex ones, it might break. So again, make sure that you always validate what it does. So that's it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. And again, it's a very new library, still progressing. So we have to, give that leeway to them. And I'm more than sure that in the future this will be more robust and it will be able to handle more complex use cases. I will drop the link to it in video's description. Let me know what do you think. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you're already subscribed, please share it among your network as it helps a lot. Thanks for watching.